If I'm being honest, by I Don't Know Man on AO3, Episode 2, Chapter 1, Midday Training, Going Anywhere. An hour later, Todoroki walked into the men's locker room, a small duffel bag and water bottle in tow. Hey, bro! Kirishima looked up from where he was tying his shoes, grinning. Glad you decided to come. Of course. Todoroki replied, a bit awkwardly, unsure of what to say. Kirishima always greeted him like it was Todoroki's first time working out with them, while in reality he attempted nearly every week. Todoroki had actually been one of the founding members of the group, along with Midoriya and Ida, despite actually preferring to exercise alone. Working out in groups was great and all, very important for both mind and body building camaraderie. And if Todoroki had an ulterior motive for forming Swole Team 6, then nobody had to know. Took you fucking long enough to get here, asshole. Bakugou grumbled with a scowl, and in retrospect, the girl's hardship's expression seemed downright welcoming. I'm so glad you can make it. Midoriya, the ulterior motive himself, beamed. Taking the train could be such a pain. Todoroki only allowed his mind to dwell on the goody thoughts concerning green hair and bright eyes for a moment, before he forcibly ejected them. Thank you for waiting. So, what are we doing today? Ida raised his hand and sprung upright. I would like to present an idea. Last night I had a dream about Aizawa and... Wow, how scandalous of our very own class president! I never knew you liked older men, Ida. Kaminari interrupted, wagging his eyebrows. Ida glared at Kaminari sternly, adjusting his glasses. Not that kind of dream. Which should go without saying. Another pointed glare. In it, I forgot to turn in a large assignment, and Mr. Aizawa erased my quirk forever as a punishment. Ida shuddered. It was an unpleasant dream. However, I began thinking about my abilities without my quirk, and I realized I like to work on my hand-to-hand combat skills without quirks. That's not a bad idea. Tokoyami nodded. We should always be prepared for scenarios where our quirks are disabled. Darkness surely lurks behind every corner. The entire locker room chimed in agreement, collectively ignoring Tokoyami's comment. Kaminari pulled a die from his pocket. We can use this to pair up. Why are you carrying around dice? Midoriya asked. I use them to do magic tricks? Kaminari winked. The ladies love them. Todoroki wasn't so sure. After a couple of minutes, the group had split up. Todoroki ended up paired with Midoriya. Of course he did. Why would the universe ever cut him a break, especially when his self-control was already on the wobbly side, crippled by changing in the same room as Midoriya? Sparring with his crush was a double-edged sword, if ever one got forged, and there was no way he'd escape without any nicks. Hey, partner. Midoriya jogged over to Todoroki. This will be great training, don't you think? Yes. Yeah, I do. Todoroki babbled, a little thrown off by Midoriya's radiance, then wanted to die when he realized what he'd said. God, there was no way he'll survive this at this rate. The sword was already unsheathed. Yet, impossibly, with 15 minutes past, Todoroki had managed to avoid any overly self-incriminating actions. The spar session couldn't make up its mind between rapture and torture. A pro, Midoriya unconsciously licking his lips, and concentration. A con, Todoroki taking a hit every time Midoriya unconsciously licked his lips in concentration. Pro, getting to oggo Midoriya's neck when he tossed his head back to drink water. Con, resisting the urge to kiss Midoriya's neck when he tossed his head back to drink water. Pro, falling on top of Midoriya on more than one occasion, their bodies pressed close. Con, desperately retreating mathematical formulas in his head to avoid a more, prominent reaction when Todoroki fell on top of Midoriya and their bodies pressed closer. Pro, practicing hand-to-hand combat techniques with one of Todoroki's rustier skills. Con, Todoroki was not focusing on hand-to-hand combat techniques, one of his rustier skills. Stars twinkled in Todoroki's skull as Midoriya landed a particularly nasty right hook. Aoyama would have been delighted. Crap, Todoroki, I didn't mean to hit you that hard. Midoriya's eyebrows were knitted in concern. Does it hurt? No. Todoroki lied. Or at least tried to. Somehow the words wouldn't come out. Todoroki frowned. No, he said more firmly. Still, nothing came out but a raspy exhale. Something akin to panic began rising in Todoroki. He had the punch screwed with his vocal cords? There was no way, right? He was just overreacting. Midoriya, meanwhile, was wiggling his hands anxiously. Todoroki? Oh my god, please don't tell me I gave you a concussion. Do you feel alright? Crap. He hadn't meant to worry Midoriya. Todoroki took a deep breath, forcefully calming himself. Just say yes. He took one last deep inhale and forced an empty huff croaked out of Todoroki as agony suddenly cracked through his skull and nausea slammered his body like a door. An paranormal activity. Holy fuck. Was he having an aneurysm? Todoroki groaned as a fresh wave of pain bowled him over, his head on the verge of imploding. Midoriya appeared to be panicking, grabbing Todoroki's shoulders. Todoroki yelped again, his side splitting. Fucking hell. He could hardly even see Midoriya through his gaze and his head. His stomach twerked in the wrong ways. No. Todoroki desperately shouted, completely unavoidable. Midoriya's eyes, all watery, widened and confused at his outburst. No, I don't feel alright. And just like that, all traces of pain vanish. What the hell? Todoroki? Shouto? Midoriya's voice and eyes wobbled in unison. Can you hear me? Yes. Todoroki whispered with complete ease. Huh. Unease settled in Todoroki's bones. He had absolutely no idea what was happening to him. Absently, Todoroki caught a vague scent of smoke, and a breeze tickled his side. Shit. He must have particularly singed through his shirt because of the pain. Do you feel stable? Midoriya implored, hands tightening around the grip on Todoroki's shoulder. Yes. Todoroki replied again, perfectly fine. Oh my god. Thank heavens. Midoriya sobbed, wrapping Todoroki in a desperate hug. Todoroki could feel the boy's heart pounding through his clattered shirt, which was, well, if Todoroki didn't feel so freaked out, he certainly would have accents to Cloud 9 by now. I'm so sorry, Todoroki. Midoriya squeezed him even tighter, hands balling up against Todoroki's back. You just normally dodge punches, and I banked on that and put too much force into it. And then you started grabbing your head and smoking and curling up, and oh my god, it was so terrifying. I'm so sorry, and I would never ever hit you that hard on purpose. You know that, right? Todoroki nodded, Midoriya's soft hair trickling his chin. He focused on the warm, solid body pressing up against him, and melted into his embrace, pulse relaxing. Whatever the hell that episode had been, it was over now. Except the beginning of a headache began unfurling in Todoroki's temples, and he stiffened. As soon as he opened his mouth, just stuck in a nervous breath. However, he found himself murmuring, Of course I know that, Izuku. Into Midoriya's hair. Todoroki's beckoning headache dissipated, as his confusion returned in full force. He hadn't meant to say that, even though it was true. And, wait, had he just called Midoriya Izuku? Yes, in fact you have, Todoroki. You have called Midoriya Izuku. Also, I think I'm going to be able to do Todoroki's voice a whole lot more. I was struggling sometimes, but I am maybe getting the hang of it. I don't know. I'll figure it out. So far, this is really interesting. I really enjoyed the pro-con list area. That was such a funny, little bit. I like it so much. I_don't_know_man. There's a reason why I just say I don't know. I'm getting a call. Okay, it's why I just say I don't know, man. Cause saying I_don't_know_man would get annoying real fast. No offense. Reading it is not bad. And it's also better reading it because the underslash separate the words and it's easier to read. Not saying that people who just jumble it up together is bad either. It's just up to personal preference on what you want to do and stuff. But saying it, I do have a preference. And no. It's very much clearly there as I_don't_know_man. And then, it's, your thingy's linked everywhere, so I'm good. But, I don't know, man. You are on to something. No Man is now your name. No Man. No Man. Yep. I really like this so far. I'm really excited for this. I love truth quirk scenarios. Chef's kiss. Chef's kiss. Okay, as always, my raindrops, make sure to eat, sleep, drink water, take your meds. Have a wonderful day or night. Links to my Discord server and socials are down in the description. Subscribe to see more of my content, and thank you so much for watching.